Stonefalls is a region in the center of the province of Morrowind, bordered to the north by the Inner Sea, the south by Deshawn, and the west by Cyrodiil and the Rift. Ash fall from the volcanoes of the Velothi Mountains fertilizes the soil for agriculture. The region has a history of war and conflict, most notably with the Needs in an undisclosed conflict, and even the Akaviri in the Second Akaviri invasion. There was a settlement called Stonefalls. During the late years of the Third Era, the village of Stonefalls is shown as a territory of House Lalu. Sometime around sun's dawn in 582, the Daggerfall Covenant sailed across the Sea of Ghosts into territory of the Ebonheart Pact, on the outskirts of Bleakrock Isle. This was the earliest account of the Covenant's invasion of Pact territory, before it ultimately landed in Stonefalls. The villagers of Bleakrock were able to escape into Balfoyan before the Covenant arrived, forcing them to retreat into Stonefalls. The first battle of the Daggerfall Covenant's Stonefalls campaign occurred in the port city of Davin's Watch. In Davin's Watch's Manor district, Tanvalin Doral and Holgan One-Eye organized a summit and had surmised a plan to break the siege. The skull of Namin Doral was stolen from the Indoral ancestral tomb underneath the city, and was used in the preparation of a ritual to summon one of the Brothers of Strife, Balrith. While Garin and Doral held the western shore from the Covenant, the invading force was able to bypass the defense by climbing atop the stone cliffs, entering Davin's Watch. Once the ritual was complete, Balrith rained hellfire across the Covenant Armada until they retreated into western Stonefalls. With the threat of Balrith roaming across Dean Seath and having already ransacked the town of Sini, the Pact turned its focus to resealing Balrith back into Ash Mountain. An agent of the Pact was sent to Otherness, where they convened with the spirit of Mavos Silorith and learned how to seal Balrith away. In the end, the Pact was able to imprison Balrith beneath Ash Mountain. But the Covenant still maintained a presence in Stonefalls. The Stonefalls campaign continued into Zabamet, on the shores of Ebonheart. Alexandra Conal, a Covenant commander, launched an operation on the shores of Vivex Antlers, conflicting with the nearby Pact soldiers and the local Dres of Vivex Antlers. Conal used the Coral Heart from the land coral in the effort to summon the second Brother of Strife,
The hearts of
Saddle.
Dunbar are as dry as their land.
After taking hostage a doomed Mariel lieutenant, Alexandra Conal was able to learn that the Coral Heart was located in the inner sanctum found deep in the battlefield. Sings with Reed, an Argonian mage, was able to convince the Dread the armies of the Covenant and that the Coral Heart was friendly. In the Coral Heart chamber, Conal was defeated. To preserve the Coral Heart, Sings with Reed sacrificed herself. With the Coral Heart in hand, the Pact pushed the Covenant west, where the General Serene was able to take hold of Fort Virac, blocking the contact between the Rift and Stonefalls. Between Fort Virac and Ebonheart, the Daggerfall Covenant laid waste against the populace, targeting minor settlements such as Heimlin Keep and Luku Luxiv. General Serene resorted to necromancy, using the dead Covenant and Pact soldiers who died in battle to fight against the invading forces. The only way to enter Fort Virak's courtyard was for the agent of the pact to consume a potion that allowed them to enter Fort Virak ethereally. Once inside, packed soldiers from each side of the Velothi Mountains fought. In a grueling battle, General Cyrene was killed by Tanvil Endoro and the Ebonheart Pact. But his spirit remained, and took Tanvil's son, Garen Endoro, with him as revenge. In his grief, Tanvil Endoro stole the coral heart from Holgan One Eye in order to summon Adel to obliterate the Daggerfall Covenant. Tanvil Endoro fled south into the ashlands of Varanis, seeking out Grand Master Amandres of House Drays at his home in Kragan Moor. In order to gain the access into the Tormented Spire, Tanvil kidnapped the Grand Master's son and imprisoned him in the House Drays crypts. The vanguard of House Endoro followed Tanvil Endoro into Varanis, taking hold of the city from the local barracks and an encampment outside the city. Under the command of Captain Denveril, the vanguard oppressed the people of Kragan Moor. An agent of the pact arrived onto the city limits, freed Sindrays from the crypts, and gained access to the Tormented Spire for the Ebonheart Pact. At the caldera of the Tormented Spire, Tanvil Endoro and the vanguard fought their way against the Chimeri that originally sealed Saddle. Tanvil realized what he had done and rendezvoused with the Ebonheart Pact in a last-ditch effort to help the Pact. In a dramatic battle, the Ebonheart Pact, along with Mavos Silorith and the Chimeri spirits, sealed Saddle into his prison. Tanvil Endoro sacrificed himself for the cause. Sometime around 2582, Vivek traveled to Ebonheart with his archcanon, Tarvis. Vivek's visit to the city left such an impression on the warrior poet that he commissioned a castle Ebonheart of his own across the lake from Vivek City in Vardenfell, which was finalized in 3414.
Well, that was a good story.
I have more, if you wish.